What's good, y'all? It's your good sis Erica Vane back again with the Powerbook 3 Raising Kanan video, and in this video I'm breaking down episode 8. Y'all, it's a heavy one. Let's get into it. The episode opens up on Jukebox. We get this really amazingly composed, framed, beautifully done shot of Jukebox. It's just her face. You can literally see every emotion and thought that's going through her head as she stands outside this funeral home. We knew our girl was going to take this hard, y'all. We knew our girl was going to take this hard. She's there. Kanan's there to support her. She actually goes in, and I was very surprised to see that because we already know how Nicole's parents feel about Jukebox. But in this episode, Jukebox is sitting with her grief, and she don't give a period. And I can't even blame sis. Nicole is the love of her life, opened her up to new and amazing things, made her feel better than she's ever felt. And in an instant, she's gone. Like, gone, bruh. And she only 16. She got a boo. Jukebox is better than me. Now, it's interesting how her parents respond. Like, you could tell her dad was really like a real one because he's more empathetic than I expected him to be. When Jukebox walks in, sees a picture of Nicole in the funeral home, the father walks over like, yo, Laverne, you can't be here. And then, of course, her little raggedy ass mama wants to be extra. And that's something that tracks throughout the rest of the episode. Kanan, before, following Jukebox out, reminds them like, yo, she really, really, really loved Nicole. Like, probably almost as much as y'all. So whether you don't like the thought that your daughter was gay, your daughter was deeply loved. Take that. It was very interesting watching Jukebox process the grief. Yo, Haley Kilgore, I thought that her episode was a few episodes ago, but sis literally is out here eating in these acting streets. Like, her performance in this episode was absolutely A1. She hit all of the emotional beats and levels of, Jukebox going through this grief. Later on in the episode, she actually breaks into the house so that she can go into Nicole's room. And I was wondering how she was going to be able to figure out, like, exactly what happened to her. But the way they decided to do it was way less confrontational and really, really steep in the longing and the grief of, like, losing the one that you love. So I really enjoyed how they actually did that. Like, they have her break into the house and she watches the video that they did together. She like goes through her stuff. She finds a note that Nicole left for her in her book bag, and she's just kind of there, and she's not rushing, so she winds up getting caught there. They called the police, and this is how I know that the dad like really registers like Jukebox's grieving too, because when he comes into the room, he's like, we didn't know it was you. We had to call the police. So it's almost like, dang, if they would have known, they would have called the police that it was her that broke in, but she did break the window. And it's the mom that reveals exactly what happened in this very dramatic fashion. But we knew that she had to find out, right? We knew she had to find out. I thought that when she was going through Nicole's room, she was just going to find the vial. But the mom had it. And the mom's like, look, you killed my daughter, and we had to lie because we can't tell anybody that she overdosed, and it's your fault. Child. And I just knew it was over then. Jukebox kind of starts to put two and two together, but she doesn't even react. And it was very surprising to me that she didn't really react. Then the police come and take her, and she's going to jail, and all she could think is like her grief. Like, she really don't give a at this moment or throughout the whole episode, which is a very interesting choice, but I think a very authentic one. I'm sorry, I'm spending a lot of time on Jukebox because she really blew me away in this episode, and I think that it was one of the most important things. Not the most important, but one of the most important things of the episode. But as she's going off to jail, the police officers that have her get a call like, yo, you gotta let this girl go. And at first I was like, okay, Detective Howard. And I was like, oh no, Burke pulled her. Burke saw her name come up in the system and was like, boom, this is gonna be her leverage. Because Burke, oh my god, Burke is really trying her best to work this, and it's so interesting to see how her and Detective Howard are moving. And I'm about to go into them, but by the end of the episode, we see Jukebox actually come and sit with Kanan. This is after Kanan has been floored by some information that Rock gave him. And we're going to talk about Kanan, but I want to go to the police officers before we get into Kanan. And I was very surprised when Jukebox says, I don't blame you, it's not your fault. Because he know good and damn well it is his fault. That blue top was of his making. She took it so that he wouldn't get pulled up by the cops when Detective Howard walked up on him last episode. And yes, Nicole shouldn't have took it out the bag and used it, but it would never have been a thing that she could use had he not made the hot shot to begin with. He has bodies falling all over New York. And for me, I struggle with everybody letting Kanan off the hook. Like, he keeps doing all of this stuff, and then everybody's like, oh, okay, let me fix it. It ain't your fault. It'll be alright. It won't be alright. Nicole's not coming back from the dead. The love of your life's not coming back. I really wanted Jukebox to get with Kanan. I felt like maybe in this moment, if Jukebox would have checked Kanan, if Jukebox would have gave him a little bit more smoke, then maybe he would make a change, because he's been doing the same thing the entire season. But no, it's not looking like that, y'all. And Jukebox let him off the hook. Now, he's stewing in his own, emotions around what's going on with him, and we gonna talk about that. But Detective Burke and Detective Howard, we see them working a little bit better together at the top of the episode. They found out about, the junkies that's falling, the bodies that's falling because of these hot shots, and we get the breakdown of like, now everybody gonna be wanting these blue tops because they're gonna wanna try the thing that's killing people. Detective Howard is working with Burke as a partner up until the moment that they do detective work. Lil Rob, little snitch ad. Like, this is why you don't go hire help. This is why you don't go hire hitters, because they not loyal. It was T-minus 2 seconds before Lil Rob threw out Kanan's name as if it didn't even matter, behind some BS after Detective Howard snatches him up and threatens to take him to jail. Like, he sung like a damn canary, and I can't. But anyway, y'all, it's up until Detective Howard gets Kanan's name for the cause of the bodies, and then he's just like, all right, I'm going on my own. And Burke feel away. Like, Burke is like, yo, sometimes you let me in, sometimes you don't. I think that Detective Howard definitely does trust her more now, but also now he got to protect his kid. And it was very interesting how he played it. Like, I love that he took the information, pulled Rock up, and I didn't think that he was going to try to blackmail Kanan for his bone marrow or anything like that. He really came at it like, well, at least to Rock, like, I'm gonna look out, I'm gonna try to bury this, but at this point, you gonna introduce me to my son, you gonna make sure that we make the connection, because I'm going to protect him. I'm going to do what I got to do, but I'm done with all this. And I was just like, oh, come on, Father Knows Best. You better tell her. And honestly, Rock still was like not going to do it up until she had to meet with Joaquin, who had been following her, found out about the meeting with Detective Howard, and now she got to be able to waylay his fears and like let him know like Detective Howard won't be a problem. So next episode, we are definitely going to see her set up the meet between Kanan and Detective Howard, who we also learned like, bruh, we learned that Def Con is gay. Def Con knew that wasn't his kid. And Rock did not willingly sleep with a cop. They got together while he was undercover. What? I'm gonna need some flashbacks, STARZ. Y'all gonna have to give me some flashbacks to when they was getting it on, doing they dang on thing out here. Cause like, let me find out that Rock actually loved Detective Howard. Let me find out that Rock was really into him. And not for nothing, Rock just really proved that she really is a real one, because she was a bid for Def Con, trying to keep up appearances for him, knew her role, did her role. And then also maybe Detective Howard might have broke her heart, which is why he didn't get to find out what was going on. Well, DEF CON needed him, needed Kanan to be his so that he could keep up appearances. So that makes sense. But anyway, we definitely want to see Kanan and Detective Howard talk next episode. I'm really interested to see how he is actually going to play it. Kanan got 5 million guardian angels, because now he got Detective Howard making sure that these bodies don't get connected back to him, even though the streets is talking, aka Lil Rob. Jukebox ain't mad at him about killing Nicole, and he's struggling because once Rock finds out about this, she loses it and everything comes out, including the fact that she had D-Wiz killed, which is a thing that sends Kanan over the edge emotionally. But the way she positioned it, I thought was freaking beautiful, because she's like, yo, who's responsible for these deaths, me or you? Buck 20, D-Wiz. Like, she runs down the list. All of them came from some you did, cleaning up some shit you did, or you did it directly yourself. Yeah, you quiet now, Kanan? Because he was talking all this big stuff. Like, Kanan standing there all big, bad, and bold, talking about, I'm who you raised me to be. What are you talking about? Like, Kanan is not humble, or don't have enough humility for him to be so damn dumb. For me, at least in this first season, he is giving me Tariq St. Patrick, and I hate it here. Like, I hate it. And we don't necessarily get any resolution from Kanan, or like what he's gonna do next. All we get left with is how he feels, and he takes the, the grief from D-Wiz and knowing that his mom was responsible for that and all that she had said, and he's just sitting with it. He goes to try to talk to Davina about it, but Davina has been taken away by CPS because her mom died, so he don't even have her. And by the end of the episode, when we see Jukebox come and talk with him, he's just really sitting there kind of like he don't know what to do. And it's like, all right, we're gonna let you feel sad for a minute because that's your homie, that's your friend, and you gonna miss your girl, but one, you gonna be able to find Davina, and two, a lot of this is of your own making, so you better make peace with it, talk Jesus, and get over it, boy. And that's just how I feel. Jukebox, you could be sad for a minute. Kanan, you need to be thanking your lucky stars, bro. Also, at the top of this episode, we see Rock take care of the bodega owner in the best way. Julia set him up, spilled some coffee on. I was just like, wait, what's going on? When I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, yo, she just took this whole jug of coffee and just threw it on this man. And, you know, he does what he was going to do, grabs a knife and chases her into the garage. And there go Rock waiting on him. Pow, pow. This was something. He was a dead man walking. Y'all know I've been talking about this for the last 5 episodes, so I wasn't really mad at this. And it was interesting to see how Julia played it. Like, sis definitely played the grieving widow, coordinated the next meeting with the cousin Joaquin, and that's when Rock learns that he's been following her. And that makes sense. Like, this is a new connect. He don't know her business. He don't necessarily know her. So he been tailing her. He know about every meeting that she done had. And the biggest one that came up concern was the one with Detective Howard, which is going to be the thing that pushes Rock to bring Detective Howard and Kanan together. Now, also in this episode, ooh, child, not Lulu. We got a lot of Lulu in this episode. He rolls up on Crown, tells Crown what it is and what it ain't with his lawyer. You might want to sign on this dotted line, bro. This free money no longer free. I want 50% of the company. And I ain't even mad at that. Like, if I was him, I probably would have asked for more. I probably would have been like 75% because you ain't doing nothing but out here hoeing and doing my drugs. So at the end of the day, you want a downhill spiral anyway. I don't necessarily know if I want to be 50-50 with a clown like you. But since we here, since you did all the leg work, which I thought was a very boss move for Lulu. I was really proud of him in this moment, really excited for him in this moment. It's interesting though, because Lulu, child, he gets to have this big boss move moment. He, throughout the episode, is doing what he got to do. He's figuring out how to balance, right? Like how to balance his music ambitions to what he has to do with the family. He has to check Rock very early on because she's like, yo, walk me through what Unique said again and why he think that you would actually, you know, flip on me. Is it something I need to know? And he like, oh, we doing this? Bet. You know better than this. And I'm like, okay, Lulu. He might be quiet, but when he speak, he got something to say and you gonna hear him. By the end of the episode, y'all, Unique's crew lights his house up. I don't think Lulu's dead, y'all. I'm praying that Lulu is not dead, y'all. We cannot lose Lulu. But for it to happen the way that it happened, he ignores the voicemail from Rock talking about he's off tonight and he's like sitting in his accomplishment. He just checked Jessica and she left out the house because she wanted to immediately be talking about, okay, bet now that you own half of this, we're gonna figure out Famous's rollout. We're gonna make my nephew a star. And he ain't do it for that, sis. He did not buy half of this dang on record label to make Famous a star. And what you're not going to do, you might be, you know, the girlfriend right now, you might be able to put it down, but don't get it twisted. I'm over Jessica, honestly. I get that sister's ambitious and aggressive, but she just rubbed me the wrong way. She rubbed me like she gonna be a problem. Like Tony is now. Y'all, I've been calling this since the very, very beginning. Tony, little rat ass. Oh, I cannot. Trying to set Marvin up, trying to pull Rock and the whole organization down because she's a freaking snitch. And shout out to Marvin, because he might be a mess up. We learn why Marvin is a mess up, but let me go here real quick. He might be a mess up, but he did not incriminate himself on that camera after having sex with Tony in her office, and we love to see it. And thank God Symphony's still a dang on bartender at this club, because now he know, and guess what? Rock finna know, and we gonna have to drop Tony because she too loose with the lip. Sis been a problem since the very first episode. She don't have no code. She run her mouth, and it's time. This episode was really good, y'all. We learned so much in such a small amount of time. We learned how or why Marvin is a fuck up. Marvin lost control of the organization when he started using and wound up going to jail behind it. And Rock lets us all know this when she's telling Kanan, because she's talking about you as a dummy because you out here in business with this former junkie and not telling me stuff, making more messes for me. And we like, dang. God dang it. And that makes so much sense, right? Like that sets you up for like why his relationship with Jukebox is estranged. It sets you up for like how he can be so reckless. Like if he's been on drugs and hit rock bottom before, then this dude really ain't got nothing to lose. It's just why he's just like out here like the Wild Wild West. It makes sense. But one thing I will say is I really empathize with Marvin in this episode, because watching Rock throw him out of the organization and kind of disown him as a brother, you could tell it really hit him. You could tell like he do be messing up, but he be trying. And if he don't have this, what does he have? Like, what is he supposed to do? I literally, when I was watching y'all, I was like, well, goddamn, Rock, send him back to the pipe. Why don't you? Because you over here hitting him with 2x4s and telling him you don't never want to see him again in life. Girl, what he finna do now? Whew. All I can say is thank God he ain't start talking in Tony's office. And he's the one who ultimately pulls Lulu out of the fire created by Unique's crew. So he's there to save the day in that regard. And hopefully Rock sees this and like lets him back in. Even him and Lulu be fighting. He made a comment to Kanan that Lulu would be happy to pull a bullet in him, but he know, like, the siblings know that regardless, that they love each other and they hold each other down, and that's all that really matters. Regardless of all the little the BS back and forth, regardless of, you know, snapping on each other or whatever, they got each other's back. They love each other, and that's what this showed me. Point blank, period. And yes, Marvin might be a fuck up, but he a fuck up that's gonna pull me out of a fire. So goddamn it, I'ma ride with my fuck up. Alright, y'all, that's it. That is my full breakdown of episode 8 of Powerbook 3 Raising Kanan season 1. Y'all, this is one of the best episodes of the season in my opinion, and maybe it's just because I was so excited for all the information that we got, all the stuff that we got to learn. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. It's your good sis Erica Vane. I'm looking forward to talking with y'all about this episode in the comments. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, join the tribe so you don't miss any of my Powerbook 3 Raising Kanan videos. We got 2 more episodes left, y'all. 2 more before the end of the season, and I can't wait. If you missed any of my Powerbook 3 Raising Kanan videos, I have them linked on screen for you right here, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye.